Another day, another build. Windows 10 build 20279 is now available. What's going on, everybody? Just saw this news come out. Windows 10 build 20279 is now available. If you don't recall, or if you do recall, the last video I did was the insider preview for 21277. Now that one was for essentially next year's build. This one is basically for if you didn't want to skip ahead and just jump onto the fresh release that's coming out next year, that they're testing all the new animations and all that stuff for Windows that people don't like too much. So in this one here, it's a minor build. There's not much coming with it. But Microsoft says here that Windows insiders who updated to build 21277 last week will not be offered the build as they are on a newer build, which is what I said. We are working on a way to getting out a new build to those insiders soon. So they're working on a way to get a new build to people who are running 21277 as well, which is me. They also say that we expect to move all insiders in the dev channel back to receiving builds from the RS pre-release sometime after the holidays. So this build here, 20279, is an FE release. Okay, so what is in this build? One thing Microsoft says compared to 20277 is that this is largely just a minor build. They're just trying to figure out ways to push out builds or flight builds as fast as possible. So like one after the other instead of taking weeks to do it. Now, Zach Bowden on Windows Central says that this is actually, a lot of the builds that have been coming out have been very minor builds to come out. And he says the reason why, and I don't know if this is true, he claims that the reason why is because these have been largely builds based off of for Windows 10X, because the builds kind of do align with each other. They're kind of like parallel builds with each other. So we running Windows 10 desktop, the normal OS that we're used to, we're not going to see those features that are in Windows 10X because we're running a different OS. But they are largely the same. So what is going on here in this build? They say some known issues. They say that we're working on reports of the update process hanging for extended periods of time when attempting to install a new build. Live previews for pin sites aren't enabled for all insiders yet, so you may see a gray window when hovering over the thumbnail in the taskbar, and they're going to work on polishing that experience. It says here, we're working on enabling the new taskbar experience for existing pin sites. In the meantime, you can unpin the site from the taskbar, remove it from the edge / apps page, and then repin the site. So yeah, that's another thing that doesn't work in this whole thing. And then another thing here, there are 5 total. It says we're working on a fix for the issue resulting in some users seeing that error code that you'll see on the screen. One using their Microsoft account to sign into various apps. If you encounter it, try rebooting your PC to resolve this. And then the final thing that is a known issue, it says they're working on an issue for a fix where in the recent dev channel builds, no drives appear under the settings, system, storage, manage, disks, and volumes. Basically that whole layer system there. As a workaround, you can manage your disk in the classic disk management tool. So yeah, so that's essentially what's in this build. It's not too much. Again, Windows Central is thinking that, or is reporting that this is actually a thing for Windows 10X that they're just not talking about because one, there's no real news of Windows 10X. It's just people are rumored that it has essentially RTM to release to manufacturers, or it's gold mastered if Apple said that. This is for essentially Windows 10X. It's not for Windows 10. So we're going to get those builds, but they're not going to be really anything in it, especially this is the end of the year. So this could be the final build, major build of the year before next year where we get a fresh release, everything. Basically, if you're running 212 and up, 21277 like I am and up, that's what's going to be pushed slowly to dev channel people next year as it becomes the norm. So yeah, that's about it. That's just a quick video on this latest build, 20279 versus the 77 that came out the other day. So take care, everybody.